all the beams that you're seeing here, the wood, I got from pallets. I found a place that was throwing away hardwood pallets, and I got them and put them, used them for the framing of my porch. They're actually oak. And my porch has southern exposure. Let me show you, see if I can get up here on one of the beams. See, it's pretty good, pretty solid wood. The glass I got from these two panels, like a bunch of them were just sitting in the barn in the house I moved in, the shed. And this is from that's just pane, from double pane storm windows that I put in, and then a sliding glass door. So mainly it's salvage materials is what I built it with. And what it does is a couple things. For one is I have what's called southern exposure. And what that means is the sun, when it rises in the winter, is lower than in the summer. And what happens is it goes through basically this trajectory, and the hardwoods lose their leaves, so I get more direct sunlight. And that sunlight comes into my front porch, which I capture. And what will happen is it'll warm up considerably more than outside. And also what I've done is, this is Mylar sheathing that a friend of mine actually dumpster dove in the Fort Sanders. And I've taken Mylar sheathing and just sheathed, again with sort of my recyclable ethic, has sheathed the porch in Mylar. You can see it over there too. In fact, there's the tube that my buddy found. Those are my solar panels, my batteries to my solar panels. And that's pretty much it. Now what this does is a couple of things. Having a porch enclosed in glass like this, and I'll go outside and show it, is one is, of course, I get heat. And right now inside here, and I've had my front door open, it is, let's see, approximately, it's a little bit over 60 degrees. It's like, yeah, 65 degrees inside. While on the outside, let me roll over here, go outside, it is about, there we go, oh bloody blah blah, closer to 50 degrees. So I've got it's about 10 degrees warmer right now inside the porch, and usually it's actually quite a lot warmer. And so what happens is the sunlight gets captured. Let me go down here and get the outer side. And this is what it looks like from the outside. The sunlight gets captured through the glass, and then that room heats up. Now what I really want to do eventually is put the glass over this these bricks, this concrete, because that's what's called thermal mass. And what that'll do once glass covers this part is it will absorb the heat in the daytime and radiate it at night. But right now I've just got it here inside the porch. And then I've got like plants like this, trees, hardwoods, they lose their leaves in the winter. So some people ask me, well, how do you keep it cool in the summer when it gets really hot? Well, I open the windows, they have screens, and then the hardwoods all around my property, like this one, they gather their they get leaves. So this is actually pretty well shaded, and I don't really have any temp problems with that. So one of my sources of heat is direct. It's just from, I'm harvesting free sunlight basically. Another thing is, if you put your panes at a slight angle, even, I mean, a little bit is efficient enough, you'll maximize the amount of sunlight you'll capture. And the book that I use for, it's kind of my Bible for solar stuff, is this one. Natural Solar Architecture. I've had it for several years. It kind of gave me the idea to do this. And what it says is that basically a 15-degree angle is best, but you can deviate up to 20 degrees above or below this, and you'll still gain a great deal of heat. So, I mean, if you put basically any angle on your glass, you'll maximize the amount of solar radiation that you'll harvest. And this is concrete here, so what'll happen is this will absorb heat in the daytime and radiate it at night. And the next thing I'm going to do on this porch is actually cut a grate here, because my house is built into the earth. And what I noticed when I was working this summer from here, where I took out these parts, was that there was cold air blowing out. And sometimes old houses, you'll find them built on wells and stuff. That's because if you've ever been in a cave, they always stay around, I think it's 60 plus degrees. And I believe when I put a grate in that, what I'll get is in the winter, heat will come up from my porch, and in the summer, I'll get cool air. So basically, I'll be getting a type of geothermal air conditioning and heating on this porch. That's phase 2. But what's happening here too is not simply a matter of capturing heat, but what I've created basically is a giant storm window for this side of the house. This southern face of my house is a giant storm window. And that alone creates a pocket. It's like an anteroom of insulation from when I come in and outdoors, which reduces my heat loss, and also it's basically insulation, a nice big pocket of insulation. And one thing I've noticed is I have 2 wood stoves, is that once I started this, my firewood usage plummeted. I began using less firewood immediately just because of this increased insulation. So, to shortly recap, and of course it's a work in progress. I'm continuing to insulate it. Eventually I'm going to take out these sliding glass doors and run the glass over this thermal mass that's on my front porch. And so it keeps my house warmer, and it'll get up to about 70 degrees in here if I keep the door open, and the temperature should be starting to creep towards 70 now that I have my front door closed. It's at about 65 right now, so it's 15 degrees warmer in here than it is outside, and it'll continue to grow warmer. And the thing is, anybody can do this. This is the definition that I learned in the Peace Corps of appropriate technologies are technologies that are made out of the materials at hand that basically anybody can do. All this is basically salvage. I just noticed that many people have front porches that have a southern exposure like mine, that are surrounded by hardwoods. It reduces your heating bill immediately. My front porch now is a great greenhouse where I used all these for beds in the early spring. It's the most comfortable room in the house in the early spring and late fall. And it insulates my house for free. It reduces my heating bill. It creates heat. I open my front door like so. Here we go. And I can actually feel the cool air coming out of my house right now as I'm standing here, as the heat from the porch goes into the house. And additionally, my chihuahuas love it because they're evil bastards. They come out here and they just lay out in the sunlight. This is later in the day, and but normally this in the early day part of the day, there's a pool of light here on the porch. Additionally, what happens is because of the solar arc, what happens is that the sun's rays are actually higher up. The sun goes at a higher arc in the summer, which leaves this shaded, which additionally helps keep it cool. And then it comes down at a lower trajectory, basically this one that goes straight through my glass in the winter, which is where we're at right now. And one final kind of geeky thing, this is my solar panel, and I have them on the roof as well. And then of course there's my power cables that I dumpstered over those as well. I got those for free. And then going down, down, down to my batteries, which are in here. And looks like there's some liquid in there. I gotta check those out. And then I've got an inverter inside of the house where you can see it's plugged in. So I'm getting what's called passive solar energy, which is this design, and I'm getting what's called active solar energy, which is this, which generates electricity for my house. Not all my house needs. I need more panels than this. Plus my batteries are pretty much shot. But that's it. That's pretty much my low-tech passive and active solar array. From the passive stuff, if you have a front porch, you can do this. Bye.